About a month ago, give or take, I had a very interesting discussion with a young man by the name of Eric Stanley, and it was so good. And then right at the end of of the interview or the discussion, we ran out of time when we got into the relationship with the family, the father, and all that good stuff. And so I wanted Eric to come back. It's Christmas time, so it's a way of giving. I wanted Eric back. He's back with us. Eric Stanley is a 26-year-old violinist and composer from Virginia. He founded and CEO, he's the founder and CEO of the digital media company, One Way Hope. One Way Hope, and we're going to tell you how to get to that. He appeared on ESPN First Take, performed for Bill Clinton, and opened for a rapper by the name of B.O.B. But before I go to Eric, I want to play a quick sample of his violin playing. That's amazing. Eric, good morning, sir. Welcome back.
Good morning. What's up? How you doing this morning?
All is well. That's amazing to see you play the violin like that.
Man, I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
I'm glad you came back. Tell us again how you how did you get into playing the violin?
Well, when I got to middle school, we had to do like a few electives, right? Mm-hmm. And it was either doing like art, drawing. There's like doing like shop class, or violin, and of course we had different options. We could do like I tried the trumpet, right. I tried the drums, but I just didn't have the rhythm on it. It just didn't work out, which is crazy. You think that would work, but I tried the cello, but it just worked out with the violin. I liked it because it was small.
You're really good at it too. And now you're earning a living with that, right? Playing the violin.
Yes, sir.
I know you perform for Bill Clinton, and I already know, but there are new listeners all the time. Mm. How did that come about, and what was it like for you playing for Bill Clinton?
So it was the first time I've ever played for really anybody in the government. Mm-hmm. And, what went with that too was, serious vetting, like the vetting process, making sure like, I'm not doing anything crazy.
You wasn't an Isaac member.
No, no. But, one thing it taught me, prior to that, I hadn't played at any like professional events.
Right.
And, it just felt like another like classical concert that I would do at school.
Right. How old were you at the time?
Let's see, 2011. I was probably like 19.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I was young.
And the last time we talked about how you were made fun of for playing the violin as a kid, how you kept losing inspiration, and what you did to keep from losing inspiration. And how you started One Way Hope to restore faith in humanity. Can you tell us again about how you, came up with the idea of One Way Hope and how you got it going?
Well, I had been on the internet. I actually started like posting videos and, just doing like covers and stuff. And something I noticed, when you log on the internet, the first thing you see normally, which is Facebook or Twitter or something like that, is you see something like very, very unconstructive.
Right.
It's just like people just going back and forth with like super negativity out there.
Yeah.
And so, I said, I can like create a network, of other people who are also losing that inspiration. Who actually want to inspire other people.
Yeah.
With positive content. And I just called up all my friends. I was like, look, man, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to start this network. You want to jump in? And everybody was like, yeah, let's do it.
That's great.
And
And
of course, I had some people who were like, man, that positive stuff don't work, bro.
really?
Yeah.
That's amazing. How's it going now?
Man, it's going great. I started last year around the same time, and I had quit my job, and I just went out on complete faith. I didn't really know how it was going to work out, but
Yeah.
it's generating a lot for me, and it's helping people at the same time.
And you're helping them by teaching them to play violin, or how are you helping them?
So what I'm doing, I have a newsletter. I have people sign up, and they can actually get inspirational messages every morning. So it's just some of my thoughts, some of the things I'm thinking about, ways I tell them ways I stay inspired every day.
Yeah.
Which is that's one of the reasons, like, really controlling my news feed and making sure I'm not just following everybody. You know what I mean?
That's right. How do you stay inspired? Like, how are you
Oh, wow.
today? What's your inspirational message?
Well, I used to, the way I would stay inspired before was I would get like really fired up, and then that only worked for a short period of time because I was relying on myself.
Yeah.
And then I said, I got to do something else here. And so what I would do is just like I would just go to the Bible, and I would see how I'm feeling right now. If I'm feeling like real like sad or depressed, I'd be like, I'm gonna go in the Bible app and just type in depressed and see what scripture comes up. And I noticed that it was a lot of common knowledge in there.
Yeah.
It's a lot of common knowledge in there.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that really helped, along with not with just like, my growth as a person, but just overall everything.
That's great, man. I read that your company has something like 160,000. One Way Hope has over 160,000 followers on Facebook. Were you surprised by that?
Yeah, I was, because it like jumped up, and probably like man, I didn't start the Facebook page until like almost like March of this year.
Right.
And so I was really surprised. It was like, man, people really, really like this.
Yeah. People need good inspiration right now. A lot of people lost, they're hurt. They come from broken families. They've been lied to about life, so they're really hurting. You were not raised by your father, is that right?
Yes.
You were not raised. Did you see him? Did you have any relationship with him at all growing up?
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, we would go over his house, and it was a co-parent situation.
Right.
And the thing about it is I didn't see him. Probably the longest span of time I didn't see him was probably almost, I would say like 8 years.
Wow.
It was 8 years that I was in Chesapeake, Virginia. I grew up, and then I moved to Henrico. So.
How old were you when they divorced? Your father and mother divorced?
I was probably like, I think about 8. Yeah, 8 years old.
You remember when it happened?
Oh yeah, I do.
What was it like for you seeing that happen? Or did it have an impact on you in any way?
It didn't have an impact on me.
Did not?
Not at first.
Okay.
I think it like, like the question started coming up later. Like, hey, what happened? Like,
right.
Everything was cool. And I didn't start asking questions until I got to high school. Really.
And what what caused you to ask questions at that time?
It was just like simple stuff. I would be like, man, like, why don't I know how to change that car tire? Or why don't I know how to do these, certain things, And I was always interested in sports. I jumped into basketball like right when I got to high school, and I just remember being in the YMCA practicing,
right.
Just like really practicing, like, Dad, my dad should be right here. He should be right here with me right now,
That's amazing. And so growing up, you were longing for your father. Would you talk to your mother about that? Like, wow, I want my father. Why, why is he there? When you started to pay attention to what was happening, did you go to her about it?
Oh, yes. Yes. I would go to her and ask her. And, of course, as a kid, you're not thinking about, those struggles within the relationship of, your parents.
Right.
You're just like, my parents aren't together. What's going on?
That's right.
Or Dad, I need my father right now.
Yeah.
And, one of the things that really changed for me and made me want to, reach out to my father was I noticed that I would find myself just like missing out, on like, you just miss out on a piece of yourself as a man.
Yeah.
When you don't have that connection, the connection with your father. And I actually watched a lot of your videos. It's called Church.
Yes.
And I would recommend anybody watching right now, go check that out. Go check out Bond. You guys probably hear him talking about like really go watch it.
I appreciate that, man. And so I totally understand. And so when did you decide I need to go and get with my father, and what caused you to decide that? How did that come about?
Oh, wow. The thing that really changed for me and what made me realize that the relationship is important, my brother, he got shot 8 times in 2004. He got shot at close range with a .45 in Baltimore, and he survived. His name is Marcus, and after that shooting, he got addicted to pain pills, and then that led to heroin and other drug abuse right there. And he was strung out for years. Like, I noticed he'd be taking stuff, sold my GameCube, a couple other stuff, music stuff, and
wow.
I didn't talk to him for a while. Then when I got to college, I was a freshman, and he would come over, and I noticed that he would try to sober up, and I would let him stay at my apartment. And I just let him stay. I knew probably some stuff would go missing, but he never took anything.
So he didn't steal your stuff and sell it or anything?
Nah, he didn't steal anything. And I had an endorsement at that time. I had with Skull Candy, he had almost $1,000 worth of headphones sitting in the room.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And so he would come and hang out with you, and go ahead with the story.
He would try to sober up, and I noticed that, and I let him sleep on the couch, and he just would talk about, Dad, I wish things would have been different.
Yeah.
And he got clean. He got clean after going through, numerous, drug rehab programs. He finally went to one, and it was a faith-based one. Right. All the other ones were just kind of like a week here, a month here. And it was a year long. He had to go for 1 year. And he completed the program. And after, he was like, yeah, I'm good. And I remember I had just, reconnected with my father when I got to college as a freshman. And I was like, he needs to reconnect too. We all need to sit down. And so I called my dad up. I was like, look, let's grill some steaks. Because there's still some stuff we got to work out. Because at his graduation, my brother, he got clean from drugs in 2010. And I noticed that when my father showed up, my brother actually left out the room. He was so upset. He hadn't seen him in so long.
Right.
It's like, why are you at my graduation? You weren't there for almost 15 years, And I knew at that point, man, he's not going to be really free until he reconnects and talks out over all the pain.
Yeah. Is your brother, is he older or younger?
He's older.
And so the three of you got together, your father, your brother, yourself, and what happened then?
We finally spent time, talking about, what we did, like what happened. He talked about what happened with my mom, and that they were, man, now I look at it, you know, my mom, they got married at like 26, 27. I'm 26. Um, I look at them as, people,
Yeah.
they made their mistakes. And so that was part of the forgiving process. Like,
Yes.
just like, look, y'all were practically kids out here.
Yeah.
Y'all made y'all mistake. I'm pretty sure you look back at 26, like, man, the knowledge that you have now, and you could tell your younger self.
It's amazing how great that is too, to go back and deal with your parents and get an understanding of what they were going through or how they saw things. And once you get that kind of understanding, it does, for most people, it does cause you to forgive them. Some people are not going to forgive no matter what you do, but for a
I
lot
don't know.
of Eric, how did you? When did you go and start to watch the church, our church services?
Oh, I saw it about probably close to the start of the year. I saw your content online, and so I was familiar with you.
Right.
I knew you. I was like, oh snap, this is crazy. What's the chances? And the church services were. I liked how you set it up. It's like it's not your traditional,
Right.
pastoral role. No, the pastor is like up there. He's just kind of like, can I get a person to sow a $10,000 seed? Can I get a 20,000?
Yeah, a waste of time, man. So two quick things, and then we want to take some calls. Number one, when you reconnected with your father, then I'll ask about your brother, how did that impact your life personally?
Wow. Okay. Let me start like the first day I decided to reach out. I was in my flesh, man. I was in my feelings.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do it. I'm like, this is awkward. What's the point? We already missed out on years. And so I was thinking in the negative. But the more time I started to spend with him, I got to see his side.
Yeah.
And I got to see how they had that friction after the divorce, and how they had that, they hate each other.
Right.
For that time. And that's not a good combination, especially for the kids.
Right.
And so they went through this whole not speaking, and as a result, it affected us too.
Yeah.
It hurt Marcus the most because he's the oldest.
And so for you, though, when you reconnected with him, did you change inwardly and everything?
Oh, yes. It made me look at like every aspect of my life. It made me look at, my career.
Yeah.
It made me look at my other relationships, my habits.
Yeah.
Maybe look at everything. I mean, I did a full clean sweep, and it was more so I wanted to always influence people, but at that time I didn't know why.
Yeah.
And as I got older, I started to see like, there's no point in having fame if you don't do something good with it.
Yeah.
So it just made me want to just have a better life, and everything around my life just went up 100%. Income, spiritual life, relationships, everything.
Most people don't understand how important it is to return to the Father, and they don't know the great things that come about. It's like the things in the darkness that are hidden away from you as a result of not having a relationship with your Father. Well, those things in the darkness come to the light once you return to the Father. And so most people don't know that. That's why I encourage people to forgive their fathers, because if you don't return to the fathers, you're never going to know what real life is like.
Oh, yes. Yes, I agree.
And how about for Marcus? How did it turn out for him?
It's really interesting. As soon as he started to reconnect, he got married. He found a loving wife.
Right.
He got a house. a new house.
Yeah.
And he fixed his credit. It was just so much stuff, like so much stuff that just changed in his life.
Wow. And so Marcus is the oldest. And how long ago did this happen for him when he reconnected with the Father?
It was about 2010.
Okay. And already he's starting to have a good life, huh?
It just, I would encourage all the young brothers or sisters watching right now. If your father is alive right now, just call him up.
Yep.
Call him up.
Absolutely.
Let it go. Let it go.
Amazing. When I come back, Eric, we're going to take some call. And for those who don't know, Marcus is Eric's older brother. It's just the two of you, right? Two kids?
I got a sister too.
How's your sister doing?
Oh, she actually moved to Seattle these past months.
You guys have the same father and mother?
Yes.
So is she close to her father?
Yes, she is.
Oh, good. And you're close to all your brother and sister?
Yes, very close.
That's good, man. That's real nice. Let's go to Esteban out of Arizona. Esteban, you're on with Eric. Thanks for calling.
Hey, Jesse. How you doing? Thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome, buddy. Go ahead.
Hey, Eric. I just want to ask you a question. I have a son. He's 11 years old. He plays the cello. And everyone's telling him, he's really, really good at it. And he plays, and he just picks it up, and he doesn't even need the notes. He just starts playing a song and stuff like that. But what I notice is, sometimes he doesn't even want to practice. Sometimes he does. His teachers are saying, oh, you're really, really good, and he knows he's good. But as a father, though, I don't know if I should push him, and say, hey, you need to practice every day, and or should I just let him, just
ask him if he wants to do anything else. Ask him if he wants to do sports or something like that. Give him a time frame and say, look, I'm going to put you in this. I'm going to put you in that because, look, it's costing a lot of money. And I want you to really get focused on something. And I'll say by the time he's like 14 and 15, push him.
That's a good point. Let's see what he wants to do, Esteban.
I got it. I just see, since you get a talent, you might not become a professional at it, but it should be a sense of joy in your life.
Yeah, you should naturally want to do it.
Yeah.
Thank you, buddy. Joel, my audio engineer here, has a question for you, Eric. Go ahead, Joel.
Yeah, Eric, when you first connected with your dad and you had that conversation, was it something that happened right away, or that you started seeing things changing, or was it over time that you eventually noticed things are changing? Or did something click for you, or was it gradually kind of happening?
Yeah, he apologized. We went out to eat, went out to get dinner, and he said he messed up. He held resentment to my mother, to us, for years. And he had to really let go himself to be able to sit in front of me and apologize. And that made me open up and really rethink, wow, I was so upset.
So you see his answer is what made you realize, okay, he's really sincere, and his intentions weren't as bad as what I thought they were. Yeah. Wow. Cool.
Yeah, that was a big moment in my life.
Yeah.
Because I was like, dang, this, he was the same age, when he had all of us. Man.
Yeah. Wow. Eric, I have totally and truly enjoyed having this conversation with you again. Your website is what?
ericstanley.co and onewayhope.com.
onewayhope.com. Thank you, man. I hope to meet you soon in person.
Oh man, look, when I'm out, y'all in LA, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. When I come through, I'm gonna hit you up, bro.
All right. I look forward. Thank you, man. We'll talk again.